Wade, and I'll be your guide for the class today. And again, thank you so much for attending. So what is iPhone Notes app? iPhone Notes app is a built-in app. It's on all your iPhones automatically, and it's designed for taking notes, organizing notes, and easily retrieving your information later. We actually have two classes on iPhone Notes. The other class is called Simplify Your Life with iPhone Notes. That is more the basics class, where we talk about just creating a note and different ways to access notes. This one, as the name suggests, is going a little bit beyond the basics for some extra tips and tricks to improve productivity and are useful, especially once you get more than a handful of notes. So we're going to start with just creating a note, and then we'll expand from there. So I'm going to go ahead and show my phone here, and here's the Notes app that we're going to go to. So I'm going to just click there to access Notes. And there's lots of things here on the screen. We're going to go over all this later, but we're going to start just with the file of the folders here in this center section. And you can see that there are a number of different folders. We'll talk about later how to add a folder. So the first thing I want to do, though, is to select where I want to put this note. Which folder do I want to put it in? So in this case, I want to put it in a folder that I set up just for this class. So I just touch Get Set Up there, and it takes me into that folder. So now to add a new note, all I have to do is come down to the bottom right to the little add icon. It's a piece of paper with a pencil on it. We'll touch that. And I'm now where I can create a note. So the first line of your note is going to be your title. So I'm just going to call this new note. So that's the title of it. I'll hit return. And then I can start adding additional information. Here's the note. And then you keep hitting return to add more lines until you're done. When you're finished, you just hit done. And I've now saved the note. I can click here to go back to my folder. And I'll see new note is here in my list of notes. This particular folder is sorted alphabetically by the title. We'll talk about how you can change that later. But that's the simple part of just creating a note, which is really all you have to do to use the basics. But we'll talk about some additional features that you can add to your notes. And so one thing you can do is to add a table, and I've got some examples here to show you without having to do a lot of entry. So I've got a note here called Game Score. And so maybe we're playing a game and we're trying to keep up with the score of each person. So we create a table so we can enter information in table format. So let's create a new note and make it a table. So I'm going to hit the new down at the bottom. And this is going to be a table note, so I'll just label it such. And hit return. So now I've got my title up here. So to create a table, all you have to do is click on this little icon, the little table icon there. And maybe a little hard to see on my screen, but just created a table with 2 columns and 2 rows. So here's my first, so I put my headers here. Header 1 and header 2. And then I can start entering my information here and here. If I need to add another row, I just hit the next, and it comes down and opens up and starts another row. So I can keep putting information in here. and building my table that way. So again, fairly simple. One thing you might want to do is add a third column. So if I want to do that, I can just touch this little more up here. Okay, hang on. And so I clicked the little more at the top and it brought up this option so I can say add a column. And so now I've got another column inserted. So fairly simple. When I'm done, I can just say done. And now my table notes are in there. Down here.
Would you show again how you add the column?
Yeah.
20 minutes.
We'll do that again at the end. Yeah, so if we have time, remind me at the end and I'll show you again at the end. Because we got a lot to cover. There's a question about dragging drops into folders. We'll talk about moving notes a little bit later. And we're going to talk about the folders later. So most of that stuff is coming up. You can do a note with checklists. So let's create another note. And we're going to call this, create a grocery list. And so I'm going to hit return. And so now to start a checklist, all I have to do is just click right here. And so I start putting in my grocery list. Etc. And then when I'm at the grocery store getting my items, I can just touch eggs to show that it's finished. And if you've taken my Reminders app, Reminders actually does a better job of these kind of checklists. But if you like notes and you don't want to use two different apps, you can create checklists like this. I'm going to say done here. I have another one here I was going to show you for checklist for movies that I may want to watch. So you can put movies you want to watch. And after you've watched the movie, you can check it off. So that's how you can add checklists. You can draw in a note. So let's open another note. And to draw, you just click on the little pencil or pen icon here. And you can select, if you want a narrow point, a wide point. So I'll select this one. And then you can just use your finger to draw on the screen. Oops. All right. That's not wanting to draw here. Oh, let's like this. There it is. Sometimes I've got short fingernails. And it actually works better if you have a pencil or a pen or something, but you can use your fingernail to draw if you want something broader. You can select here and maybe make a big one. So now you can draw with that. So that's what drawing is. I frankly don't use that one very much, but some people like that one. So I was going to show you how that works. So we'll save that one too. This is a couple that are really important that I think are handy to use. And so let me show you how to scan a couple of things. Because this is a really quick way to get information into your notes. I use this a lot. So you can scan a document. So if you've got a document that you want to add, I'm going to start a new note. And this is I-square. Actually, this I'm not even going to have to put anything in there. I'm going to scan a credit card. And to do that, I'm going to touch the camera here and say scan document. So maybe somebody handed me a business card and I want to keep it. But instead of having that physical card, I just want to scan it and keep it in my notes. So, and this one has two sides, so I can turn it over and scan the back side. It's got the information on when my appointment's going to be. So I've scanned those. I can hit save. And now I can see my, didn't get the second one. Let's do that one again. I think I didn't wait long enough. And if you want to delete one, let's show you how to do that. You can click up here in the upper right-hand corner in the triple dot and just say delete. So let's try that one again. So I'm going to say scan document. And all you have to do is hold your phone over it. You don't have to touch anything, and it will take the picture. And then it says ready for next scan. And now I'm going to scan again. And it says save to. So I hit the save to. And now I've got both sides. So we'll say.
Question, Wade?
Uh-huh.
So, I haven't used this a lot because it seems like you always have to save it to notes. Can you save it somewhere else?
Well, it will save it to notes. You can put it, move it to a file or something else later if you want to.
Can you save it to photos?
No, I don't think you can put it into photos. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. There probably is a way to move it to photos. Let me just check one thing here. Nope, doesn't say food. There probably is a way, but I'm not sure how to do it off the top of my head. So, and again, we got a lot to cover, so I don't want to get too far off topic here. Let me show you do another one of these just to show you the versatility of this feature. So sometimes you might have a handwritten note that you want to save. So I grabbed another note here. So I'm going to open a new note, go to the camera again, and do it just like we did before. I'm going to scan a document. And this is a handwritten note that I want to keep. So I just scan that and save it.
Why do you scan text?
That's what we're going to do next.
Oh.
So that's the actual note, but you can also do a scan text. So I'm going to, and I'll do it right below this time. Instead of saying scan document, I'm going to say scan text. So if I okay, come on, you can find it. There it is. And so it actually, instead of, so you've got two options. You can actually basically scan the document itself, or you can pull the text out of the document and even handwritten notes. And I actually did this in script format. This I printed. My handwriting's not very good, but it was able to read it. So that's a way to scan just the text, or you can scan the entire document. And of course, if you want to take a picture of it, you can do that as well. And I'm going to show you the difference. The problem with taking a picture is you get all the background. So now I get something that looks like this instead of something that looks like the one above, where I just have the document itself. It crops everything else out if you do a scan. So, all right, so let's move on. We spent a lot of time on that, but I think that's a really important part of this. So let me go back into notes. And so let's talk about moving notes. So if you want to move a note, that's very simple. I can just go to a note that I just created. Let's grab this. We'll take the grocery. And so, oh, actually, better, let's take this business card that we scanned. Open that. I'm going to click on the more in the upper right and say move the note. And then you put where you want it to be. So I'm going to put it in my business cards folder since that's a business card. So I just click there, and now it's moved that into my business cards folder. So very easy to move things from one folder to the other. You can pin a note. You can see in this case, I've got this note, which is another business card, pinned at the top. So I might want to pin this card up there as well. Just open it, tap on the more, and pin is right here at the top center. So I hit pin, and now I've got 2 notes pinned to the top. So that's one way. If there's something that you use a lot, you can put it to the top so you don't have to go through a long list to try and find it. Now we've got several folders here, and I said I'd show you how to add folders. So you can add folders at different levels. So this is the main level. And if I wanted to add a new folder at this level, I would come down here and touch the folder icon in the bottom left. And you can put it either on my phone. If you put it on my phone, it's going to literally just be on your phone. If you put it in iCloud, it's going to be saved in the cloud, so you can get to it from any of your devices. So I'm going to put it in iCloud. And we're going to call this, or just call it test. So I'm going to get rid of it later. And here's a new folder called test. Now you can also see that I've got under Get Set Up, there's a subfolder. I'll show you here again. So business cards is a subfolder under the Get Set Up folder. So if you want to get even more detail, you can do that. So I'll just go into this one again. And this time you just click at the more button, and I can add a folder.
Wait, you're adding a folder to a folder, is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Okay, thank you.
So now I've got a folder called test, and under test I've got another folder that I just named subfolder, not very creative. So now you can see there's a folder, subfolder, folder, subfolder. I think you can even nest even lower. It's going to get pretty busy if you do too much. But that's one way of organizing things is creating more folders instead of having everything in one huge folder. Hashtags is another great way to find things. Hashtags, let's do one. I can kind of show you how that works. So let's go back into our Get Set Up. And let's see. So this I care one I put in, I want to put a hashtag on that one, that it's a business card. So to add a hashtag, just go down into your numbers and select the hashtag, this icon. And if I've already created some, they'll show up here. So if I want to put business card, I can just click that, and it's going to put that hashtag on there for me. If I want to create a new hashtag, start out the same way, touch down here on the numbers, click again to get into your symbols, select the hashtag, and we'll call this demo. And when I hit return, it changes to yellow. It lets me know it's been created as a hashtag. So I'm going to say done and show you why I would want to do that. So now when you go back out to the main screen, I've got all my hashtags down here. So if I want to see all my business cards, no matter where in all these folders they live, I can touch business cards and it pulls all the business cards that I've got. So these may have been scattered across any and all of these folders. So it's a way to pull information across folders based on the tag. Now, and as I showed you, you can have more than one hashtag on one because I added one for dental. Right now, there's only one in that category, so it only finds this one. But
Once you create, can you remove it?
you can take it off of there. I can go into this and take that off just by backing over it and saving it. And so now that's gone. And that was the only one that had dental, so it actually took it off the list as well. Yeah. All right. And one other thing that's can be helpful is you can lock a note if you got something that has information in there you want to make sure you keep locked up. Maybe you've got your social security card or something like that, and you want to lock it. In fact, I'll go into my real one here. And well, it'll take too long. Let's just stay in this one and say hypothetically we want to lock the game scores. Probably doesn't make sense, but you can do that. So I'm going to open game scores, touch more at the top, and here's lock. So I'll touch lock. It uses my Face ID, and it adds a lock. So you can see the lock is up here now. It's currently open, which means it's not locked, but if I touch that, it's now locked. And you can see a little lock right there, letting me know that that is locked. So if somebody got my phone for whatever reason, or maybe my spouse, I don't want her going into it, in order to open that one, it's going to say the note's locked. And to view it, it's going to check the Face ID. So no one else except me can open that. That'd be something you use a lot, but it's good to have around. One last thing I'm going to show you. We're going to skip quick notes because we're almost out of time, and there's a couple of things in the chat I want to get to. But I want to also show you how to share, because that's a really handy feature as well. So if there's, let me see, well, just the grocery list. So my wife and I may want to share this grocery list, so either one of us can add something to that list, and when we go to the store, either one of us can get everything we need. So I can just go to the share icon here, and I've got two options. Collaborate means that the other person can actually edit it. I can send them a copy, and they'll have a copy, but it's a separate copy. So in this case, I want to allow my wife to collaborate with me. I'll pick her. And send that. And so now she's collaborating. You can see the little icon here that shows me that someone is collaborating on that one, and it shows her picture of who is a collaborator for that note.